Thank you for staying tuned to our Impact Television. Of course, if you're here to follow us on all of our social media platforms, please kindly do so at our Impact TV and our Impact TV UK on all social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Periscope, and even on YouTube. And now we're delving into our next conversation this morning. Bolade, do you want to toast us?
All right. Now, we will not be doing the conversation alone,
Definitely,
that you said.
yeah.
And our guest is already on standby to join us to talk about the food business and pandemic and how people can actually weather that storm. Her name is Juwaira Suber, and she is a graduate of philosophy and religious studies from Kogi State University. And of course, she has a professional certificate in personal management. What I like in this, her profile is the fact that she said she is a foodie. A certified foodie. She is an entrepreneur and she's also a baker. So she is the perfect face for this conversation that we're having this morning. This morning, we are talking about keeping your food business safe in a pandemic. See, I've heard a lot of people talk about the struggles that they're having in businesses and all of that. But the reason why we're actually taking this particular conversation is we have had a lot of food businesses spring up from the need of essential services. And food is one thing a lot of people are into. A lot of people actually need to eat. A lot of people actually need to feed. And a lot of people actually need to know how to go about all of these things. And for people that have been having difficulties in keeping their business afloat because of so many things, they've been back and forth. I mean, well, there was a lockdown. After the lockdown, businesses were open, but then there were restrictions. And then after a while, they allowed businesses to continue going as normal, but then the numbers of the people that should be at a certain place was reduced. And then again, another restriction was placed again. You know, there's been a lot of back and forth and, you know, a lot of trying to guess things right, just to make sure that people are safe and people are doing the needful. So it's just important that we help and give utmost consultation and advice to people on how they can actually keep their business, especially their food business, safe in this pandemic. All right, so I'm going to be reading a very quick article for us just to see how we go in this conversation. And it says, pivoting food businesses during the pandemic. Now, the pandemic has forced many food businesses to get creative to continue selling their products and services. Jamie Rerig, an academic specialist at MSU Center for Regional Food Systems, said food entrepreneurs have adapted to the pandemic in various ways. A caterer may have shifted to selling individual meals that are ready to take home and eat, she said. Or there are entrepreneurs who have started providing food demos during lunchtime so people can log on and see how to use the products and get some great recipe ideas. These challenges for business owners have also been opportunities for creativity and community building, on top of making ends meet and ensuring cash flow during a time when in-person services are reduced or restricted. Food business owners must consider new ways to engage with customers, simple and short. You have to find a way on how you can actually engage with customers. You need to find a way on how you can actually make your business work and make sure that you're flexible and not run down. Food is a business that will sell anywhere. But the only way you can actually make profits is if you adapt, especially during this period. If you adapt and you know how to go about it. You know, it's, I mean, I remember when some popular hotels that used to be into restauranting and all that, they had to change their modus operandi into delivering food instead of allowing people come in, because nobody was coming in to sit and eat.
I mean, the pandemic is there, and you know, food can be easily contaminated. So
exactly.
Honestly, a lot of people who are into the food business, they actually went online to do a lot of things. We have a couple of people that, yes, a lot of people were like, the pandemic caused a lot, but there are still some people that really, really succeeded, and they're still striving, which is why, you know, we're having this conversation this morning. If you're into the food business, how can you still push forward? How can, you know, your business grow, even with the pandemic and the lockdown? Because I believe there are still some countries out there, you know, that they are on lockdowns and all of that. And so having them come to your restaurant to eat and all of that might not be possible. What are you doing? What is the plan B that you have, to still get your business running? That is why we are having this conversation this morning. Somebody once told me that, okay, so when the pandemic was on and when we were on a lockdown, I'm talking about Nigeria here, she was, of course, she was into the whole food business. In fact, she just started afresh. She just started. And she realized that she could not go on with it because of, the lockdown and all of that. Guess what she started doing?
What did she
started selling her recipes online.
Nice.
She legit created a food blog. And it was amazing. There are so many ways. If there is one thing this pandemic taught us, is how to be creative.
All right.
You can just sit down and things will start coming to your mind, how you can become better at your business.
Yeah.
But I'm very sure that is what, and this the conversations our guest will be having with us this morning.
Exactly. Our guest is on with us, Juwaira Sibera. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing? Hello, can you hear us?
Yes, good morning. Thank you for having me.
Nice to join us this morning. All right, the conversation is on keeping your food business safe in a pandemic. I would like to ask you, how do you think, let's give food business a percentage. How do you think that the popular ones, I'm not talking about the popular food businesses, how do you think they've been able to adapt especially during the lockdown? I want you to give them a percentage. Were they able to do the needful? Did they do good? Did they do bad? What do you think?
Well, on a scale of 1 to 10, just average.
Okay. Why do you think so?
Sorry, I didn't get that.
I said, why do you think so? You said on a scale of 1 to 10, you said average. So let's say the food business had 5 out of 10.
Yeah.
Why do you think so? Why do you think they were average this period?
It's actually a bit challenging because Nigerians are trying to get used to the new normal, techniques that are coming up, and customers' demand has actually reduced because everyone is trying to be careful because of hygiene and all that. So basically, it's actually reduced profit space.
Everybody's looking for an opportunity on how to make it.
Yeah, how to make money.
If this is a good time and space for them to make money, then I think it is something that they should tap into. So generally, I want to ask her the question on how she thinks the food business has fared during the lockdown, especially during the lockdown. And she said average. I sincerely agree with her because some businesses were not able to adapt.
I'm telling you, knowing fully well that a lot of food were inflated.
They were not able to adapt. A lot of businesses were not able to use tech to manage their products and services. I know some businesses that because they had to be delivering, they really faltered in that. I mean, I am asking for breakfast. I'm asking that you deliver me breakfast. Breakfast is between 7 a.m., 6 a.m., thereabouts, till
8
about...
a.m.,
No,
9?
some people still eat breakfast by 11. Oh. But the moment it is entering 12, it is already brunch. Then lunch comes in later on. I've ordered for breakfast by 7 a.m. At least I'm expecting in 2-3 hours, I get my food. But then sometimes you would not get the order until later in the afternoon or evening. And then you're wondering what's happening. And then you complain, and then, of course, there are a lot of excuses. And some people don't even know how to address you properly. But welcome back, Juwaira. Okay, great. Kemi was asking a question.
Yes, I was like, what forms of challenges, what are the challenges food businesses are facing currently during this pandemic period?
Okay, thank you very much. Basically, because of the pandemic, there's been a hike in the prices of food items, prices of logistics, because it's more difficult to reach out to customers because most people are scared of coming out to buy food. So we have to delve into the logistic business. So the increase in food items and equally the increase in cost of delivering these items to various customers And secondly, because of the pandemic, there has been a reduction in customers. It's more difficult to reach out to customers. You have to really go all out and be very creative. But it's okay. It's something that can be managed and handled with more creativity.
Oh, okay.
I would like to know how the food industry can try to keep its head above water, especially during this period. I mean, you've already stated that it has been a bit difficult because they have to go all out to get their customers. And if you're going all out, it means that you're spending a lot. You are also, trying to put out a lot, but businesses sometimes don't have
customers.
To retain your customers. But businesses sometimes don't have that much capital to do all of these things. So how can they keep their head above water to ensure that their businesses are staying afloat and also they're satisfying their customers?
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
How can food businesses keep their head above water so that their businesses doesn't sink?
Okay. Firstly, we're in the jet era, the era of network marketing, the era of social media platforms. It's really doing magic right now. So basically, employing the use of social media platform can actually help out, and also developing mobile apps where customers can, log on to and probably order for whatever needs they want. You can see some companies are already doing that, and by using this means, you can actually enhance the business, especially making use of the technology and to be able to survive through these platforms.
All right. For the social media platforms, I'd like to know if you advise startup food businesses to get somebody like a social media influencer or a digital marketer just to boost their businesses. Do you advise that?
Yes, I will, because that is the main game right now. If you're not making use of the social media platform, you are good at dead. Like, you're going to struggle with customers, reaching out to a lot of customers because it's global,
All right. Let's talk about safety measures. We all know that food is a very easy way for people to get poisoned, to get food contamination and all sorts. Like, what are the necessary safety measures food businesses should look into, especially during this pandemic?
It must be properly observed in the food business, because if customers notice that your food is not properly, packaged, clean, and edible for consumption, there's a decrease in patronage. And secondly, the food quality. Consumers will want nutritional valued food and not food that will not add any nutritional value because of the situation on ground, which is a pandemic. We need to develop a high immune system. So basically, food hygiene, number one. Two, food quality needs to be top priority. There needs to be an increase in food hygiene and food quality.
I want to say, Major, thank you for joining us this morning. You've been able to, let us know that businesses can actually stay afloat by tapping into social media platforms and actually being online, and also trying to make sure that their food is packaged well and neat so that their customers or their consumers would not have food poisoning or contamination. Thank you very much, Uwera, for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Have yourself a lovely day. The conversation is on keeping your food business safe in a pandemic, and we just had a conversation with Uwera Subera. She is an entrepreneur and a baker, and also a foodie, as she has put on our profile, just to let you know that She's into food consultations and everything. And it's just important that we let people that are into the food business know that your customers are important. Just make sure that you are reaching out to them to know and to know the service, if they enjoy the services that you're providing, because it's food. And also reach out to them to know that they love what you're doing and they're getting what they're paying for. Because I mean, it's I feel it's unfair that I'm paying an amount for a certain service, I'm not getting it, and I am not enjoying it. It really it will hurt my feelings.
So a lot has actually changed since the pandemic started. I mean, what food used to be then is not what it is now. And that's because of the change in price and everything that is going on, essentially. Now, a lot of people, they've lost customers because of this reason. Because they were not able to keep up with the new trend. Because they were not able to, see how they can be creative about their, food business. Food is an essential part for all humans. We still need to eat. And I feel like, there is a lot that can actually come out of this particular business, this type of business. But seeing how things has changed, seeing the hike in price of so many foods, and, seeing how a lot of customers, the traffic to restaurants and all of that, it has been greatly reduced. Like I said, a lot of people have taken to online trading, trying to see how they can still retain their customers and all of that. But still, even while you're still on that platform, even while you're still, doing your business on social media, it's very essential that you pay key attention to things that your customers are saying. Because yes, you will definitely get feedbacks. Oh, ma'am, your food has reduced. I understand why, because of the pandemic and all of that. But can you? It's very important that, you pay attention to all of these details, because your customers comes first. And if you are not satisfying your customers, then your business is as good as dead. So, this conversation is very, very important. And I feel like, for those people who are into the food business, they really need to pay attention to all of these things that she has talked about, and how they can leverage their operations to even make more profits.
Yeah. All right. So just to buttress her points, we're going to be taking tips on keeping your food business safe. And the first one on our list says offer delivery and take away. And we know that at this point in time, there is a limited amount of persons that can actually sit in a restaurant or an eatery or a bocateria or a cafeteria, as the case may be. So it is important that you have delivery services or takeaway. Before now, it didn't used to be a big deal. That, hello, do you have delivery? No, we don't have delivery. We don't do that. If you cannot come into the store, you can't eat our food and everything. But right now, if you are not factoring delivery or taking away, that is having packs in order for people to actually just come buy meals and go.
Leave,
I remember during the lockdown, when some certain eateries were open, they would not let you sit in. All chairs and tables have been taken out. So all you can only do is come in, pick up,
your food or whatever you are ordered and leave.
Exactly.
I think that was, in fact, for so many people that were able to keep up with that, I feel like those are the people that were able to share testimony, honestly. Because if you do not have all of these things, which is why it's very important that you're creative, yes? If, for example, all you offer is just when customers have to just come in, buy and leave. If you cannot think outside the box, okay, how can I still satisfy my customers even during this period of pandemic? Then I do not know what you're doing. So as a business owner, most especially you that you're into food, you have to put all of this into consideration. And that takes us to our next tip here. And it says, think creatively. This is very, very essential. Nobody is saying you can only sell food or drinks. A creative way to do more business would be to sell recipes, ingredients, or merchandise online. Your message could be something along the lines of create a little piece of your brand name at home, providing your customers with a special recipe for one of your signature dishes, side sauces or cocktail is very important. I mean, I already said it, when I gave example of a friend that actually started a food blog, and she was really, really doing well. She saw that, okay, so, having a restaurant where people would come in and buy was not visible anymore. So she went into food blogs, and all of that. Basically, it was actually a very creative thing, because her page, she even opened a YouTube channel for herself, and she's doing beautifully well. There are so many people out there that would kill to have your recipe. It could just be that your food is the best in a particular community, because you also want to put your audience into consideration. And then just because of the pandemic, you're unable to open your restaurant anymore. What are you doing? You need to be creative about these things. How can you still retain your customers, like we've been saying from the onset? It is very, very key. Do you need to just sell your recipe? If that is it, then please do. We have so many businesses that would want to buy.
Online,
and then you make your money even from it.
Yeah.
Or join a competition.
Okay.
You can join a competition. We have businesses that, they would call you out, okay, come and compete with so person, and then they choose the best and all of that. But of course, because of the pandemic, you do not want to do that. You still want to keep your distance and all of that. Stay safe and all of that.
Safe. All right, this next one says, ask your customers to share your incentives online. The power of social media shouldn't be underestimated, especially in times like this. People all over the world are trying to raise money, awareness, and support for local businesses. Therefore, if you start offering delivery or takeaway, start selling gift vouchers, or start offering any other incentives, ask your online followers to share your stories, posts, and messages as much as possible. This will extend your reach significantly. This works
very true. Every time, yes.
This works every time. Sometimes when some business owners do giveaways, they ask you to post and repost. They ask you to share your review online. They ask you to take pictures and videos when you get the delivery, when you get the package, and then you have more to get after all of these things. All of this works online. Sometimes the reasons why I have patronized some businesses is because of a review video that I saw. And I'm like, okay, what is this product? I just check it out. I say, oh, interesting. And then maybe they're like, oh, I got a giveaway from this person. And then they do a video, take a quick picture, and then they send it to people just for them to see. You can just advise or encourage your consumers and your customers to actually do these things just to make sure that you widen your reach and let people see what you are doing. That way, sometimes you might not necessarily spend money on advertising. People are actually doing the advertising for you, and it's a genuine one.
Yeah.
Like, it's a clean one. It's a good one. It's not the scam one where people will be begging people to do review for them, and it's a lie.
Yeah.
So all of these things can actually help keep your business afloat during the pandemic, especially your food business.